Hey, humans of Disciple, my name is Stevenson, and today I'm going to share with you some tips that may help boost your workflow in your production and maybe improve your mixdowns. Tip number 1, high cut stuff. Often people will leave the top end in any sound that they make, and eventually all those sounds add up to make kind of like a mess up there. So what I do personally is I'll high cut everything when it's being added to the mix, and then slowly add high end as it needs it. Often you'll find that maybe your pads don't need as much high end as they come with. And then eventually the elements that end up in the top end are the most important ones that need that top end, and it ends up much cleaner. Tip number 2. Don't be afraid of not sidechaining things. It's a trap to think that you need to sidechain absolutely every element to your kick and snare or duck thing so that they pump. Sometimes the most effective thing can be not sidechaining something so it's there right in your face. It can be super useful, especially for stabs or weird sounds that maybe you wouldn't expect to show up in the mix. Don't sidechain everything. Tip number 3. Do things with intention. If you're adding an element and it's not quite sounding right to you, but you want to add an element that sounds like it, don't add it. Do something that convinces you, because if it doesn't convince you, it's definitely not going to convince a listener. You need to make sure that everything you're adding is being added for a reason. If you find that a sound isn't sounding quite right and you're hiding it inside the mix, don't hide it, just get rid of it. You don't need it. Tip number 4. And this one's similar to tip number 1. Work bandpass. So cut all the low end and all the high end out of your mix and then work on it for a little while. You'll find that most of the information that is memorable from a tune lives somewhere between the frequencies of 200 to maybe 5K. That's where all the melodic or the kind of the human information is, the stuff that's not super high and the stuff that's not super low. If you work just listening to that stuff, then you'll find you're making decisions based on what really needs to sit near the front, and then sub and top end just end up being something to hold that up. So yeah, put a bandpass on your master and work for a little while. Tip number 5, and I'd say this one's the most important one, and that's listen to yourself. I think that there's a lot of people who think, what should I add to this track? What would be expected of a track like this? And that's not always what you want, I think. I think that the most individual productions come from when people are making decisions based on what they like and what they want to hear, as opposed to what they think fits within a given genre or a given movement that's around at the moment. If you're making music purely for your own tastes, then you'll end up with something that's purely yours, and that's much more interesting to everybody than you trying to make the next someone else's tune. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope that one of these things helps you. Tweet at me if it does, and you guys have a great day and happy producing.
So thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment, like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to our channel, and if you really fancy, hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button or wherever the hell that is, so you get a notification when we upload another video.